Sam is on from Nevada with Jenna and Matt. How are you, Sam?
Good.
It says here you claim there has to be an afterlife.
Yeah, I know we got to keep this short. I think there is an afterlife, and there has to be. I just wanted your Jenna's gut feeling, like her deep down gut feeling.
Why do you think there has to be?
She thinks there is.
Well, why do you think there has to be? Because that suggests that you can't be wrong.
Kids with cancer, people in mass shootings, just people dying. They never get to live their life.
So what?
You know,
Sad.
there
It's sad.
be, but there should be. There has to be.
No. Now you're admitting that you really wish there was. I'm asking, what reason do you have to think there actually is? And it seems that your reason for thinking there actually is because if there's not, then the world doesn't seem just or fair. And my response to that is, who said the world was just or fair?
Yeah, I think there is a mechanism. There has to be a mechanism for one.
What reason do you have to say? You keep talking about what has to be. What reason do you have to think that there is a mechanism?
I have no evidence. I just wanted Jenna's deep down gut feeling on whether she thinks there is something that we'll knowingly feel or experience.
Well, my deep down gut feeling is not that there is, but I want to know why that matters. Why my gut feeling matters.
I mean, if we all got to live 80 or 100 years, great. That'd be fine. But we don't. Some people only get 5 years.
Yeah.
Some only get 5 weeks. But
Yeah.
laughing baby, you see 5 weeks and then they die. It's just totally not fair. I mean, everything seems kind of organized in the universe. There has to be an afterlife. There has to be.
And if there's not, then that's really, really hard to accept. The more that you think about it and the more that you talk to people who think like that, who have come to terms with that, the more you can have an opportunity to come to terms with it yourself.
If you had to answer yes or no, and those are your only two options, what would you guess?
So first of all, stop.
What would your answer be?
Sam, stop. First of all, you don't have to answer the question. The answer could be, I don't know. But you're uncomfortable with I don't know, and you're uncomfortable with a no. So you're just answering yes, acknowledging that you have no evidence for it, no reason to think it's true. It's just what you wish were true, because it doesn't seem fair that somebody only got to live for 5 minutes. Well, I would agree that's not fair.
I don't know.
I would agree that that's not fair, but I don't agree that there's some notion that the universe is fair. All the evidence shows the universe doesn't give a rat's ass about us.
If there is, it'll be a bonus. I've heard you say it'll be a bonus. I've heard you say that. And we only got one life we know of, so we should live it to the max. I agree with that.
And be grateful. So take all of those lives that you think it's so devastating that they've been lost, and realize how lucky you are to still be alive right now. Because considering how many people have died.
Well, a lot of them never got to live, never got to get married, never got to drive a car. What about that?
You are that much luckier than everybody else.
They were in the wrong place at the wrong time. It just sucks.
It's sad. Yes, it does.
It does suck. But when something sucks, that doesn't mean
it's something we'll knowingly feel or experience.
Sam, just because something sucks doesn't mean we're justified in inventing a comfortable fiction. If something sucks and it's just harsh reality that it sucks, the best thing we can do is to work together towards making it suck less. And we do that.
Accept it.
Yeah, we do that by, hey, the infant mortality rate isn't as bad as it used to be. And so there are fewer infants dying. And that's because of us, not because of the universe, not because of a God. It's because of us. You can't give them smallpox anymore because of us.
A 17-year-old gets hit by a drunk driver. There's a million other
naming very, very sad scenarios, and they are all very, very sad scenarios. But talking about them doesn't make them any less sad.
And it doesn't mean that an afterlife is any more likely.
Right. It sounds like you have some things to come to terms with, and thinking about it is a really good way to do that. So I'm glad that you called.
Here's something that's really going to fuck you up, Sam. Sam, this is really going to fuck you up.
That's a crazy word, but I think you think that.
Sam, if you'd listen, this is really going to fuck you up. what if that 17-year-old that got hit by a bus is in the afterlife, and that afterlife is burning in everlasting torment?
That would suck.
Yeah.
Is that better or worse than not having an afterlife? I mean, actually, it doesn't even matter, but that's the point, is it doesn't matter what we like. That's the whole point I think Matt's trying to make, is that it doesn't matter what, if I like it or you like it, that has no bearing on whether or not it's true.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. And then
well,
death experience.
You called in to tell us why there had to be an afterlife, and it turns out your reason for thinking there had to be an afterlife is you really want to be, because otherwise it doesn't seem fair. And then when faced with the notion that the afterlife may not even be any more fair, and that you may burn forever in some religion's hell, all of a sudden afterlife doesn't look quite so fucking rosy now.
What about another example? An 8-year-old gets kidnapped, raped,
and burns forever in hell.
The 8-year-old?
Why wouldn't he? Why? I mean, don't get me wrong, Sam. If you're just going to make up whatever fictional afterlife you want for your own comfort, then you can say, okay, 8-year-olds get to go to the place with puppies and ice cream, and 17-year-olds don't, or whatever. As long as you're making shit up, you can make up whatever you want, but none of it changes the reality. And the reality is, not only do we have no good reason to believe there is an afterlife, we have really good reasons to acknowledge that there's not. If you're just going to talk the same time I am, we're going to end the call. See you later, Sam. Don't worry too much about an afterlife. You don't even have any evidence for one. I don't have any evidence for one. Best thing we can do is try to make the one and only life that we know we have better for as many people as we can.
May I say, there was one call that got dropped, but there was a question that I'd really like to answer really quickly. And there was somebody that asked what they can do instead of pray. And I'd just like to say that what I do is I meditate.
Yep.
So just something to look into.
And I guess it would depend on what they were praying for or about or whatever else. But, there's a bunch of old adages that hands engaged in helping are forever infinitely more powerful than hands folded in prayer. I can empathize with people who are, oh my gosh, I wish there was an afterlife, or, oh my gosh, I wish there was, a proper sense of justice, or this or that. It doesn't seem fair that bad things happen to good people. And I agree. And I got over that by acknowledging that the universe isn't fair. That there are genuinely awful people who are rich and powerful and never face any consequences. There are also incredibly good people who are rich and powerful and are doing things to try to make sure that the rest of us can have good lives. There are people of almost any religion you could name who are genuinely some of the finest people on the planet, and also genuinely some of the worst people on the planet. And that goes for Christianity as well as atheists. Even though it's not a religion, it's still an identity. I appreciate, first of all, anybody who's willing to call in and put themselves on the line in a phone call like that. I know it may not always seem that way, but for every cowardly, stupid interlocutor phone call we've had here, that person is still representative of thousands of other people who would never have called in and would never consider or even engage in any sort of discussion. So they're already leaps and bounds ahead, which is one of the reasons why I can't tune into chat and watch people be like, oh, hang up on the troll, hang up on the troll. Because I just want to, I trust me, people in chat should be glad I'm not in chat on a regular basis, or there would be nobody in chat but the fucking moderators, I think. But I want to thank Jenna for coming on and being awesome as always, and to all of you for tuning in, and to the crew that work behind the scenes to make this show there. The cat is in fact in charge.